Welcome to Greg Ellis TV Daily. Hope you're having a fantastic day. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 has been out for a few weeks at this point, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is going to be announced on August 13th and then released a week or two later. And I wanted to go through the things that are better that we know so far on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold versus the Galaxy Z Fold 6, because basically these phones are the same price. They both start off at $1,799, but there's a few key categories that I've highlighted that show that this phone is better in these ways. Now, on the grand overall scheme of things, do I know that it's a better phone? No, I don't, but I wanted to point out some key features that most likely are, and obviously, as you can see in front of us, are. So let's talk about those features. The first being 16 gigs of RAM. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 only has 12 gigs of RAM. It's had 12 gigs of RAM, I think, since its inception, which was 6 years ago. They have not pushed the RAM up since then. Maybe it was 8 the first one, but basically it's been 12 gigs of RAM forever on this phone. And RAM, if you didn't know, is good for if you have a lot of apps open. It'll help keep those apps open. It's good with performance and prolonging the performance of the device as apps need and want more power. They'll obviously pull it from not only the processor, but sometimes they need more RAM as well. So it helps with the overall usage of the phone. Obviously the displays across the board, in my eyes, are better. Why? They're bigger. You're getting 8 inches versus 7.6 inches on the main display of the Z Fold 6. So you're getting another 0.4 inches bigger, which is great for multitasking, gaming. When you're looking at a website, everything's gonna look bigger on this phone. Websites, videos, everything will look bigger. And that's kind of exciting. I wish Samsung finally changed the Z Fold 6 inside display. They didn't, but it's still a great size. Don't get me wrong. When I'm saying, that 8 is in my eyes is potentially better than the 7.6, it's just because it's bigger, but we'll wait and see when we get our actual hands-on with the phone. The other part of that is the outside display, 6.3 inches, but then you're gonna say, well, Greg, Galaxy Z Fold 6 is also 6.3 inches, but the 6.3 inches on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 is taller and skinnier, whereas on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it's shorter and wider, which I would probably rather have, a wider display versus a taller display. And obviously that's a feeling, it's a want, it's a need. And for me, I feel like the fatter, it would be more exciting and usable for me than the skinnier and taller, especially most text, obviously, as you know, goes across. It's gonna truncate that and make it a lot skinnier and on top of each other, more so than it would be to be able to go wider out. Also, 2700 nits of brightness on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold displays. That's more than the Galaxy Z Fold 6. These max out at about 2600 nits of brightness. So it's 100 nits more, not a lot, but it's still a win, right? That's great for outdoor viewing. It's great for any kind of bright light that's beamed into your display so that you can see it better, and that's a win overall. Again, both are so close, it's almost a tie, let's be honest. The battery is bigger by 250 milliamps on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It's got 4650 milliamps on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold versus 4400 milliamps on the Galaxy Fold 6. And obviously getting better battery life, prolonged usage out of this. We'll wait and see if it actually ends up having better battery life. But the notion that it could have better battery life because of the bigger battery obviously makes sense. It's just it just matters if the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is optimized, if the processor sips rather than chugs battery life. So it all depends on a couple things, but it does have a bigger battery. The dimensions, 155 by 2 by 77.1 by 10.5. That last number, that's how thin it is. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 is 12.1 millimeters thick when closed. Or is it when it's open? I forget. Either way, it's definitely thinner on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold at 10.5 millimeters. This is great. It's wider, obviously, and that's how they can make it thinner, but it's a lot thinner than a Galaxy Z Fold 6. And again, that's gonna be a win in a lot of people's books. You put a thin case on, like I know I'm using this Thinborn case, and this is super thin, and it makes my phone feel so much thinner, and it's great in that regard. I'm loving how thin this phone feels versus, my last case, which is still a great case, by spec, but it felt big, especially compared to this thin case. So putting a thin case on this is gonna feel even better than that. Now, the other couple things, the cameras, we don't fully know the cameras if they're gonna be better or not. But I know from past experience, I generally like the Pixel cameras, especially with selfies and sometimes with videos, better than the Galaxy side. They're sharper, they are crisper, and that's really important. I love a sharp, crisp photo. I also like it to be bright. Sometimes the Pixel's photos just aren't as bright as, say, you would get on a Samsung, but Samsung's been changing a lot of their design technology in terms of like the displays aren't as vibrant purposefully. The pictures sometimes aren't as vibrant as we had seen in the past. So this might make them all aligned in the color category, but I'll be hard pressed to think that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold won't take and have photos that look better than the Galaxy Z Fold 6. I mean, again, I'll remain in the middle of this, but I have to guess. If I had to choose, I would guess that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold will end up taking better photos. Don't know that for sure, but just from past experience, what I've seen with these two phones. Now, doesn't mean that the Galaxy Z Fold 6 in the grand scheme of everything isn't better. Obviously, it has a more powerful processor, has more storage capabilities potentially. We might see a 1 terabyte on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It's lighter. The charging is probably going to end up being a little faster potentially on here. We don't know for sure, but it might be. They're going to get the same amount of years of update 7. The AI features are the same, but a little bit different in time. So there's some things here that are same or equal, but the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, just spec to spec, in a lot of ways looks like a better phone. Let me know your thoughts on this. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.